Welcome to part 3, the last part of this Cold War Football Manager 2016 experiment. Apologies for the delay in this part 3. It's been a week and a half since the last part, but in that time I've received my new computer. My old one, it's becoming increasingly impossible to record on, so I sort of had to wait for this to be able to record and also process the game and holiday into the future because it was incredibly slow on my old computer. So I've managed to holiday into 2083 pretty quickly on this new machine. I will do a separate video on my new computer once I've moved house. That's also happening in the next couple of weeks. So it's a busy time in my life, which is why there's not regular videos. But hopefully mid-February I'll be back to making regular videos. So I hope you're looking forward to that. So let's get on with this last part then and see how Russia and USA have done in the last 40 or so years since the last part. So I'm going to show you, first of all, the World Cup. That's the thing that makes most sense to look at first. As you can see here, Russia and USA haven't won it in the last 30 odd years, but let's have a look at the complete history of the World Cup. So since the start of this experiment, you can see up the left hand side the winners, runners up and third place. Now you'll notice USA and Russia do not feature as the winner. Unfortunate, they weren't able to quite reach that level, but you can see here Russia have been runners up 3 times, once in 2038, then 2046 and 2050. Really unlucky not to win a final. They lost against Belgium, Portugal and Argentina, and you can see here USA managed to finish 3rd in the 2070 World Cup. So they've both had some success, but they haven't quite managed to reach that top level of winning a World Cup. Now I'll probably be doing this sort of thing again with other teams in the future. I definitely will be doing Australia and New Zealand, not immediately, but at some point I will be doing Australia and New Zealand because that's a popular choice and I have a lot of viewers down in Australia and a few in New Zealand as well. So I think that's a good one to do. So we will do this again to see if we have some success with those teams. Perhaps I'll have to take charge of a nation, just like I did with Indonesia back in FM15 to try and win the World Cup. That's the only time we've actually had one of the nations win a World Cup, was when I was in charge. So perhaps with a very skilled manager, being modest there, then a team like Russia or USA could actually win the World Cup. As it stands, you can see here, Russia have dropped down to 15th in the world, but they've regularly, every single time I've stopped, like, you know, when I've paused the holidaying, I've looked at them and they've been in the top 10. It's just recently, over the last few years, they have dipped in and out of the top 10. They have been as high as 2nd since 2074, but they haven't been first for a while. If you look at the current world rankings, Brazil, England, Spain, Germany, Mexico have done really well on this with no influence from me. I don't know if that's anything to do with me changing America or United States. A lot of Mexicans play in MLS teams, don't they? So I don't know if by improving the MLS teams I've inadvertently improved the Mexican national team, and they've been very high. We saw them win a World Cup, of course, but they've done really, really well on this experiment without me directly changing the Mexican national team. USA actually currently higher than Russia, but let's look at Russia then. We're going to have a look at their history to see what they've won in the last few years. You can see here World Cup runners up 3 times. They did actually win the European Football Championship though. They did have some success. In 2048 they managed to beat Portugal in their own country, mind you. Germany have been very successful, as you would predict. Holland have also done quite well, and Spain. Turkey have won it as well though. Serbia and Belgium have been runners up, and Belgium have won it in 2036, but Russia have managed to win something of some importance at least. They also won the Confederations Cup in 2049, but really interesting, I didn't spot this last time, but USA managed to win the Confederations Cup in 2033. They beat Germany in the final, but then in 2049 Russia managed to win it, beating Argentina in the final. Argentina really unlucky, 4 finals in a row where they lost. But Russia and USA haven't featured in the final since 2049. Russia did manage to finish 3rd in 2077, quite recently though, once again in their own country. They do very well at home. It's just away from home they do tend to struggle. So let's look down the list. European Under-21s Championship, they have won quite a few times because they produce really good youngsters. It's just they don't always quite reach the top level and are able to win the World Cup. But still, they've done very well at youth level, as you can see there. Under 20 World Cup, they haven't. I don't know if that's even a thing. It is. They haven't managed to win that. Under 17 World Cup, no success there, or the Under 17 Championship or anything like that. But they've produced some really, really good players in their time. At the moment, there's no superstar over 190, but they had one guy that had 196 current ability. I did actually tweet out a picture, a screenshot of him. So if you go to my Twitter, links are in the description below, you can have a look at him. He'll be a few days ago, but I did find a guy that had 196 current ability. Didn't show his current ability in the screenshot, but it showed his attributes, and he was a remarkable player, really good attacking midfielder. Anyway, the best player currently is this guy, Igor Zhurevlev, who plays for PSG. A lot of Russians seem to play for PSG on this. I tend to notice that this guy's got 56 goals in 60 games for Russia. What a striker, unbelievable stuff from him. The best potential player though, as you can see here, is this guy. Actually, he's not going to reach his potential. 188 potential is not going to reach that, but this guy certainly could. 21-year-old, 188 potential, Vasily Mamanov, who plays for Zenit. 2 caps so far for Russia, but looks a really, really good player there. So he's tipped for top things. Like I said, this is the last part. I'm not going to holiday any more years. They haven't managed to win the World Cup by this point, so I'm not going to give them another chance. I think eventually Russia probably would win the World Cup because they're just producing so many amazing players. You can see here the team is full of really good quality players, lots of world-class talent as well in here. Top capped player currently is this guy, Oleg Nekolov, 34-year-old, 120 caps, 6 goals. Really, a legend of Russia. He's been playing for Bayern Munich for many years. I haven't installed any face packs, by the way, yet, so that's why some things, or kit packs or anything, or logos on this computer, so that's why it's not showing at the moment, but I'll get that sorted at some point. Goals wise, the top scorer is Zhurevlev, and then it's Sergei Jemchenko, 29-year-old, 30 goals in 49 games. So as you can see there, they've produced lots of top quality players, and they have continued to do so up until this point. You can see here the top teams in Russia at the moment. Zenit are top, then it's Volga NN. We've got Spartak Moscow down here. Where are CSK? They're all the way down here. They're actually in the first division. So we've got to this point where teams have been relegated, promoted from the Premier Division. Teams that you'd expect to always be in the Premier Division haven't actually always stayed up there. Let's see who's won the league over the last few years. You can see Krasnodar really dominated for a long time, for many, many years, with a couple of exceptions. But Krasnodar have done really, really well on this game, for whatever reason. And you can see here they're still in the Premier Division, 3.5-star reputation, secure finances. Things have dipped, that's the thing. So facilities wise, they're all still pretty strong. They haven't stayed at 20. You'll remember I put them at 20 in the first part. Finances though, they've actually lost their sugar daddy, and I think most of the Russian teams have lost their sugar daddy. So I suppose if I really wanted to boost them again, I'd give them a second life by adding another sugar daddy. You can see Zenit have sort of dominated a bit more over the last few years, but Krasnodar have just been incredibly good. Really, really good. In fact, let's look at the... I think we should look at the cup. It's probably something to look at, isn't it? Let's go down and we'll go up. Even on my brand new, very powerful computer, because this is so far into the future, it's quite a big file. It does take a little bit of time to load, even on this machine. But you can see there's been a mix of winners in the cup, but once again, Krasnodar probably have won it the most. As you can see there, very successful on this save. Just thought we'd look at records and that sort of thing. You can see this is the highest world ranking by year. I think they were first at some point. Yeah, they were back in the 50s. It's quite funny saying back in the 50s. It's 2050. They were first for a long period of time, and that was probably their best chance of winning the World Cup, but they didn't quite manage to get to that point. They've had pulled in big crowds for various things, but let's have a look at overview. Most top goal scorer that's of all time is this guy, Rashid Danilov, who retired at the age of 36 a few years ago. back in the 50s as well, was a really, really good player. 103 goals in 119 games, ended up at Real Madrid and was a really, really top goal scorer for them, a legend of Real Madrid. The most capped player is this guy, Sergei Azianov, who also played for Real Madrid. Defensive midfielder, 32 goals in 151 games. Not bad for a defensive midfielder, actually. So moving on to USA, United States of America, who are currently higher than Russia in the world rankings, but they have really been up and down over the years, much more so than Russia. Russia have always been towards the top, in the top 20, but USA have sort of dropped down to the 30s, down to 40th in fact in 2079. And produced not so many good players, quite simply because probably the salary cap, the way the MLS works, I guess college football, that sort of thing, has got in the way of them producing lots of players. Now, I could have, maybe on the pre-game editor, I could have changed things up, but on the in-game editor, I know a lot of you said destroy the salary cap, that sort of thing, but I couldn't find a way of doing that. So unfortunately, it's meant that they've not produced as many good players, I would say, because of that reason. But it just shows the differences between different nations, the way different leagues work. Russia have the potential to go on and win a World Cup. They didn't quite do it, but I'm sure that on a better day they could have won one of those finals. But USA just didn't quite have the ability, because of the way their league works and their system works. They didn't have the mechanics behind them to produce world-class talent. They produced the odd really good player, but at the moment you can see here, I think every player, apart from Steve Wright, is worse current ability-wise than the Russian team. But the weird thing is they're currently higher in the world rankings, and they did finish third in a World Cup recently. So just because you've got the best players, it doesn't mean you've got the best team. And I guess USA have got a system behind them where they're always working hard for each other, and that really enables them to have a good team despite the fact they don't have the best players. So this is their best player. Let's just have a look at Steve Wright then. 45 caps, 16 goals. Very versatile player, as you can see there. Currently playing for Chelsea, so he's a top-class player. Arguably a world-class player with the ability that he has. And really, really strong player on the game. Let's just have a look at the most capped player on this. It's actually Francisca Diaz, who is a midfielder. Looks pretty good. Plays for Cruz Azul. Are they Mexican? Yes, they are. And goals-wise, the top scorer, only 16 goals. It is Steve Wright. So perhaps they're at a transition stage. The team looks relatively young. I don't think they've got anyone over the age of 30. Yeah, 30 is the oldest player. So they've got a youngish team. Perhaps at this stage they are just transitioning their squad. If we look at the clubs in America, the fact that there's no relegation or promotion system in USA as well perhaps has also stopped them from producing amazing players and allowing teams to move up and down, because all of the players all the clubs at the moment have a 3.5-star reputation, and that's just it. They haven't got above that and they haven't dropped below that. They've all had money. I think most of them have actually kept their strong facilities. Look at New York, 2020, apart from corporate facilities. Finances, they've also kept their sugar daddy, so they're rich, but just the system that they have, it's just stopped them from producing amazing players. Perhaps they don't have the best coaches in the world either, but then if they've got money, then they should be able to produce good coaches as well. So it's a bit strange that's not happened, but it really is just down to salary cap and the college system, I think. So if we have a look at the MLS, can we see the recent winners? Where can we see that? I think this is the Eastern Conference winners, so it's been very varied, as you can see there. If we just go down to the Western Conference, San Jose have been pretty good, Sporting Kansas City as well, but once again quite a mix. But that's what happens in America. You've got a system whereby anyone can win it theoretically, because they get a pick of the best players, or they get a pick of an equal number of best players. I'm not quite sure how it works, but I know there's because of the way it works, it just means there's more variety. So the MLS Cup, as you can see here, once again very varied. We've got New York in there a few times, Sporting Kansas City, San Jose, Orlando City have won it, DC United, New York City FC have won it. Let's have a look at them. I'm sure there's a few of you interested in that team. You can see here that well, player-wise, here's some of their players' potential ability. They've got some guy, Tom Matthews, who is American, 3 goals in 7 caps, has 160 potential. So let's see what America have managed to win over the years. So they finished 3rd in the World Cup. They won the Confederations Cup. We've already seen that. The Olympics, they finished runners-up. You can see there. Let's just have a quick look at the Olympics. Russia also finished as runners-up in this competition as well. Interesting to see who the hosts of the Olympics are over the last few years. Let's go back. North American Cup. They've been very successful. The Gold Cup, as you would expect, but Mexico have done very well as well. Mexico B team managed to win the 2081 one. USA couldn't even beat them. But USA have won it a number of times, as you can see there. Confederations Cup playoff. I'm not even really sure what that is, but they've won that. And they've won plenty of North American under-20 championships as well. So all-time top goal scorer was this Guillermo Guerrero guy. We can't click on him. It didn't save his history, unfortunately. But you'll remember him towards the start of the experiment. 149 goals. It's just incredible. Most cap player, it was him as well. 149 goals in 178 games is just ridiculous. I don't think they ever managed to reach 1st in the world rankings. Highest 7th, I think. We just look 6th, 5th. Oh, they did quite well in sort of the 30s, didn't they? And before that. But yeah, they've done okay. But you have to say that Russia have been the better team. They've not exactly won the World Cup. Cold War. They've not exactly won the Cold War, but you know, the Cold War sort of fizzled out in real life as well, didn't it? So it's a fitting end in a way to the Cold War experiment. Both Russia and USA didn't quite win the World Cup. USA managed to finish 3rd once. Russia finished 2nd 3 times. They've both won their continental competitions and youth competitions and that sort of thing, but haven't quite managed to dominate the world. Russia, I think, would go on to win the World Cup in conclusion. I think they were the better team. You can let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts about the experiment, how both nations did. It's obvious why USA couldn't quite get to the top. We've already decided it's because of just their youth system and the league system, and everything combined has prevented them from producing world-class talent. Russia, on the other hand, produced lots of world-class players. If you want to see an example, go and check out my Twitter. That'd be much appreciated. Any ideas for future experiments? You're welcome to put them in the comment section below. Like I said, over the next couple of weeks, I'm moving house, so I won't be doing regular videos, but there will be the odd one here and there, just like I have been doing over the last couple of weeks. There's been 1 video a week, which is a little bit pathetic, but I'm sure you guys understand. Anyway, please hit that like button if you've enjoyed this mini-series, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I will see you very soon. Oh, and just as an appendix, I should really have shown this. Champions League, I thought maybe Russia would have been successful in producing lots of teams that won the Champions League. You can see Krasnodar managed to win it in 2034-35, but I think that was the only time a Russian team managed to win it. If we just go up, if you spot otherwise, let me know, but I think they were the only Russian team to win the Champions League. North American Champions League, I think a couple of American winners. New England managed to win it, Houston as well, Chicago, mainly dominated by Mexican teams though, as you would sort of expect. You'd have hoped America would produce a few more. New York, Orlando City, so there were some, but mainly dominated by America. There we go. I thought you guys would probably ask that question, so I thought that I'd add that on the end to this video. I'll see you very soon, guys.